Hello everyone, I'm Noah Henry of Unknown Artistries, and I'd like to dedicate an entire video to my all-time favorite film, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So what is it that I like about this movie? Well, for one thing is the look. The backgrounds and set design is incredible. The art style takes heavy inspiration from German Expressionism. Films like Cabinet of Caligari or Nosferatu are big examples of where Tim Burton and Henry Selick draw inspiration from. There's sort of been this debate of whose film this really is. Is it Burton's or Selick's? After all, Burton's name is right in the title, but at the end credits, the first name that pops up is Selick's. Truth be told, I think it belongs to neither, because it solely wasn't them that made the movie. It was a collaborative effort, because you got animators, photographers, lighting crews, storyboard artists, voice actors. You don't have a movie if you have none of those elements. As Jack Skellington says himself.
And why should they have all the fun? It should belong to anyone.
Speaking of Jack Skellington, he was voiced by two people, Danny Elfman and Chris Sarandon. Elfman did the singing parts and Sarandon did the speaking parts. I found this out recently. Chris Sarandon played in the original Child's Play as Mike Norris. Funny to think he didn't believe Andy when he said a doll was alive, when later on he would voice one. Elfman, on the other hand, not only sung for Jack, but also wrote and composed most of the music and songs. Let me tell you, he crushed it in this film. Every song in this movie is not only catchy, but they have a staying power. This Is Halloween, for example, is now a classic song played around Halloween time, and I totally welcome it. Speaking of the voice cast, the voice of Sally was Catherine O'Hara. She played the mom in Home Alone, and was in another Burton film, Beetlejuice. If there was one thing I wasn't big on in this movie, it was the sudden romance between Jack and Sally. The entire movie she's trying to get Jack to notice her, and he's pretty much oblivious. So they have no real chemistry at the end of the film. O'Hara had double duty, also voicing Shock of Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And the voice of Lock was none other than Pee Wee Herman himself, Paul Reubens. Rest in peace, buddy. I didn't know this, but Greg Proops voiced the Devil and Harley Quinn Demon. Whose line is it anyway, indeed?
My goodness, all the donuts are gone! Why, we won't be able to get a policeman to save our lives!
The movie almost has a timeless feel to it. Like, it could take place at any point. It's a storybook come to life. And fitting, that's how it originated from. It pays homage to classic horror. Vampires, werewolves, mummies. Dr. Finkelstein sounds like Frankenstein. Sally looks like the Bride of Frankenstein. Of course, I mean the monster, not the actual doctor. God, those movies really mess with the public. People always think the monster is named Frankenstein because they look at the poster and see the name under the monster, and that's another video. The point is, I adore this movie. I already made a few art pieces dedicating my love to the film, but never an actual project. And that's something I'm going to do right now. I ran out of t-shirts. The first step is to make a collage of as many NBC characters I could think of. In hindsight, I forgot a few, like the Grim Reaper and the Gatekeeper and so forth. I have a healthy amount here anyway. Next, I took my collage into my drawing program and used a blue guideline to trace over each character. There's two reasons I did this. One was to get a good idea of how to draw these characters and make any changes in the planning stage. Two, and I don't know if you noticed this, but the movie and its characters use a lot of black and gray as its palette. So to go over everything with a black outline would be a little too tricky. I then had to draw everyone again, but this time with an outline. This fresh layer allowed me to cleanly draw everybody. All that was left was to color everybody in. I did my best to match the palette that the characters had. Once again, I did have to take a few liberties, such as giving Sally light blue skin to contrast to her red hair. Afterwards, I added some details like textures and a few Easter eggs for people to find, and I'm definitely not showing in this video. And I'm left with a project I'm pretty happy with. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I just love this film, and if you like it too, leave a like. If you want to share your thoughts, leave a comment. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. Until then, I'm Noah.